Hi, everybody. Welcome back to another episode of the Search Podcast. This week, I am joined by Pat Waits. Pat, I've known for many, many years. Set up his own business, but I'll let you tell them a bit more about yourself.
Yeah, cheers, Elliot. So we set up. Let's start from the beginning. Been doing recruitment for I realised this year is the 10th year.
Amazing.
So I didn't know as long as I didn't know I was that old. But yeah, been doing recruitment for 10 years. And just over 2 years ago, so February 2019, back in 2018, but 2019 we actually started Coltech. Decided to start. We've obviously been reasonably successful in a couple of businesses that I worked for. I think it got to a certain age or a certain point where I thought now's the right time to set up.
What made you want to do it though, Pat? What point did you sit there and think this is for me? Like I definitely want to run my own recruitment company. I know you had a really successful background and you had amazing billings, really strong track record. Is that what gave you the push, or is it just no?
I didn't. I never wanted to. So I mean, when I left East Synergy originally, I spoke to you. And said, "Oh, look, this is what we're going to do." And you said, "Well, why don't you just set up?" We had a similar conversation to that. I said, "No, it's not for me." Joined another business, worked there, learned some really good processes, and everything else was probably it was a really, really good grounding for me. Learn how to build a team and everything else. I think and then it turned out about a couple of years after that. I think someone in maybe a pub or a conversation I had with someone, "You should do this on your own. Why don't you?" And I thought, "Oh, yeah, actually." And then it just dawned on me, well, maybe I could. It took quite a lot of months to sort of trying to convince myself, is it the right idea? Because I just wasn't sure, really, really wasn't sure. And then it just got to a point and said, "Look, you might as well just do it now or never." I think I got to a certain level in my career at the business that I was at where I might not get much further.
Of course.
Or it would take me a really, really long time to get to where I felt that I should be. So it was either sort of be there, work for someone else, or just take the jump and go on my own. And then I thought I just had a conversation with the missus and said, "I'm going to do this. But if we do it, I'm going to have to move home back to my mum's because I'm not going to be able to afford to live in the house anymore." So that was the deciding factor, basically, whether my partner would say yes or no to moving back to my mum's. Luckily, she said yes. So that was it. Moved back to my mum's and started. So in a shorter answer to the question, it was just a decision. Someone said, "Go ahead, why don't you try?" 6 months of thinking about it, and then finally my partner was like, "Yeah, just do it because it's going to make you happy." So that was it.
What was you like? I won't say scared, but like everyone's got that kind of and I had it, the worry and taking that leap to doing that. And you massively, you just said you sacrificed a lot to make it work for you. But what were you? I'm going to use the word, but it might be the wrong. What was you worried about? What was the fear of it?
Money.
Yeah,
I was earning decent money, but I didn't save any of it because I'm an idiot. So it was like, right, if I do start my own business, I've got overheads. They need to be covered somehow. And I didn't, and it genuinely didn't have enough money to probably last me a month, 2 months. So it was like, if I'm going to start my own business, I need to start doing deals immediately. Like we need to start making money. So that was probably one of the faults. And then, obviously then when we decided to move home, that cut quite a lot of my costs down. So it was like, all right, we could probably do it. And then, once that sort of burden was taken off me, it was then a bit of a no-brainer. Just sort of back to myself. Started the business. Obviously, it wasn't just me; it's my business partner Matt. He helped me out a lot at the beginning as well. With confidence of doing it, joining I wouldn't have been able to do it on my own. So starting with a co-founder was amazing, and he's been amazing personally for me from the beginning as well. So that gave me the confidence to be able to do it, to have someone with me. And he's pretty decent in recruitment himself. So it basically helped me think to myself, well, actually, this probably will be a success if we're doing it together. So
brilliant. So you've basically just outlined the story that I love to hear, and I'm sure there's many people that have had to kind of really sacrifice a lot to make it work for them. But when you look back on it now, How far into it did you say you were in the business?
2.5 years. So it's 2 years in February.
And where are you at now in terms of from being, from then to now? Like, how do you feel about it? Like, you must look back on it and think, no, like, it's the best thing you've ever done, right?
Yeah, it's the best decision I ever made. Genuinely. There's been a couple of tight points.
Yeah.
I thought, there's never a thought of, no, have we made the right decision? Literally from day one, when we sat in our little, we got an office above a gym in Brentwood. Yeah. We thought it was really cool, but looking back, it is really shit. It was literally as wide as 2 desks.
But you've got to start somewhere, right?
On the first day, it had an outdoor swimming pool, which we thought was good, but we started in this winter, so we couldn't use it, and we moved it out when the sun started. Never actually got to use that. But yeah, from the first day of sitting in the office, I knew it was the right decision to make. And then since then, all the ups and downs and everything else is just part of it. We're in a pretty decent position now as a business. We've grown pretty well. So definitely was the right decision for me.
So every recruiter that I speak to that has been in a position where they've built, £500,000 a year, and they're really successful, you kind of then, as a recruiter, you question, like, why don't you just go and do this for yourself? Because if you're going to leave a job and go somewhere else, you're technically, in essence, you're going to start again. And you're going to rebuild, and you're going to have to kind of start from scratch. At that point, you've got to question that aspect to it. But if you wouldn't have set up your own business, where do you think you would be now? If you were a recruitment company setting it up, would you want to be a director? Like, where would you?
I would have probably still been not much off what I was doing in the first place.
Yeah,
what I was doing when I left my previous company.
And do you see something wrong with that in terms of, like, because obviously there's a lot of recruiters that have chosen not to do that?
No, not at all. So I don't think there's anything wrong with. Well, I definitely don't think there's anything wrong with starting in a business and going through and becoming a director and working within a company, because I've started one. So hopefully everyone who works with me stays working with me and doesn't leave me to start their own business. Yeah. I think there's certain things, certain personality traits maybe, or certain things that are about people that might, for me, after thinking about it, that was never going to be enough. Yeah. Working with someone, like doing that, going there, working with someone. I want to do my own thing. I have my own ideas about how I want to go about doing things. I was in a larger business, so sort of how I wanted to do things probably wouldn't have gone with what they wanted to do, for instance. So I would never have really. I would have always been directed by someone else, even if I was a director.
Yeah, of course.
Been at the mercy of the ideas of whoever owns the business or the people above me. So for me, it was the right choice. I think it's really good for it. I've been doing recruitment for 8 years before I started my own business. Yeah. So it's not something I think that anyone with like 2 or 3, 4 years experience, it might be right for certain people, but I think staying within a company, growing through that company, seeing the ups and downs, growing a team, learning how to manage different personalities, having someone above you to help you do that, so you'd have a director or an owner above you, is a really good thing. Yeah. And as I mentioned at the beginning, working at my previous company helped me and molded me a hell of a lot more. Sure. Without doing that, I wouldn't be able to be doing what I'm doing now. So I think I'm really grateful to them. So yeah,
I feel like a lot of recruiters, can sit there and think, do you know what, setting up a business is easy, right? In recruitment, I'm a good biller. I'm just going to bill. I'm going to make loads of money. I don't want it is a phone and a computer, and I can crack on. But what they don't realize is that when you want to scale that and you want to actually stop it from being a lifestyle to an actual business that has actually got value and, it's got growth potential, that is a whole different world, right? And how did you get around learning? Did you do any courses in business management and business growth, financials? Like, did you help yourself in any way?
No. Listen to a lot of podcasts. Yeah. Which probably everyone does. So as soon as we knew we were starting, we got an advisor straight away who's been amazing for us, like to help us to get an understanding of that. Because at first,
the RDLC that you're part of.
Yeah, we're part of Pirates. Yeah, so Gary's our advisor, and he's been unbelievable for us. And then obviously gave us then connections to other people that like accountants. So we got a CFO that's probably the best in the market, Dan. He's I never really like having conversations with him because I always get told off. But he is really good. But having all that, so as you say, the planning, the structure of a business, how to forecast, how to when to hire, so on and so forth. I had no clue on what to do, how to do that. So I would suggest to anyone who starts a business, you do just want it to, like, if you do think there's certain people who have certain clients and, like, you know, I could do this on my own and I could just have a lifestyle business and work when I want, that's completely fine. But as I say, as I mentioned, for me, it was all about, let's create something really, really good. Let's do something that other people haven't, maybe, or let's try and scale quicker than others have. And how do we do that? We have to get the best team around you. And so we got ourselves the best advisors that we can.
I think you've done unbelievable with that, mate. And the thing is that, look, you know, I'm on the other side. I'm with the TRN lot, you know, and ultimately, so we're on different paths. But I've done it for the same reasons, that, you know, it helps me, it educates me, it guides me. No matter where you think you can get to, you can always get further and get more help.
Being part of a network in anything in life is really good. So if you've got issues outside of work, like, take work out of it, you go to your group of mates and say, oh, this is what's going on. What's that great bar? You should do this or do that. It's just exactly the same with us, with the Pirates, with the RDLC. We've got 300, 400, whatever it is, CEOs, directors, MDs, whatever, within the group. So if you've ever got any sort of, oh, this issue has come up at work today, you've got a load of mates who just come in straight away and give you advice. So it's been invaluable for us, and we wouldn't be where we are without having the right
definitely
network behind us. So regardless of what network it is, probably the best one's the RDLC, obviously. I would suggest to anyone who's starting a business to get people around you that know what they're doing.
Always, all day long.
It's as I say, it's helped us go from zero to where we are now in a reasonably quick time.
People are scared to spend the money, and they're worried about where it's going to go to as a cost, because it could be in their pocket. But at the end of the day, that it's to invest in your future. And look where it's got you guys, ultimately. And anyone that's in part of these groups, it really helps out. You don't have to, and I have been asking this question on these podcasts is, where did you learn your skills from? Where did you learn how to manage a business? Because not everyone I didn't go to university, to learn how to do that. And it's literally one of the answers is probably get involved in a group where you've got the right people sitting around you.
You have to have the right mentors and the right people around you to advise you. Because even if you did go to university to do this thing, no one knows everything. And there'll be things that pop up. So there'll even be, I left school at 16, so I'm not the brightest spark in the box or whatever it is. So that's not even the saying. So that's how stupid.
We'll go with that, because I know exactly what you mean.
but I might have advice for someone else who's got a larger business, been running for ages. When we're a smaller business, we might have different solve problems that maybe a larger business might not have come up with.
Definitely.
So it's amazing, and I can't recommend having a group or mentors behind you enough.
Last year, Pat, with the whole COVID breakdown, you've just come and, you're just getting going in your business, and then all of a sudden you just kind of get smashed with this whole situation that we're all in. Did that scare the shit out of you with regards to what's going to happen, or did you just put your head down and crack on and everything worked itself out?
Well, last year I had a healthy ginger beard. It's nice. Now got quite large patches of grey, probably because of what happened last year. So, as I mentioned earlier, I moved back to my mum and dad's house with my partner when we started the business. First year went well, and then my partner got pregnant.
Congrats, mate.
Back end of 2019. So he's like, right, we need to move back to the house. So we decided, right, we're going to do some building works on it. So we'll renovate the house, do an extension at the back and a loft and so on and so forth, and do all this work. Brilliant. Then we started the work in March last year. Then obviously the country shut down and everything else. Still trying to get the works done, couldn't get any building material. So that was all going on, which was a stress, because there was now a timeline that we had to be in this house because there was a baby coming, and we couldn't move at my mum's. Then obviously business, we lost a couple of big clients at the beginning of of COVID. So we get rid of all contractors, and we're a contract heavy business. So that was another worry. We just then got our head down and just said, right, it was just, we scaled it back down to me and Matt again, and just really just got our heads down and just worked as hard as we possibly could. Managed to land a piece of work to build a team for a government department who was building a carer.
What do you guys specialize in, Pat? What is projects for?
It's all around software development and cloud projects, basically. But what we've gone to do is, rather than ones and twos, project work. So it will be, you know, big ticket, right? We're building, so for instance, this one was mentioned for the government department, we're building a recruitment platform for carers to get, join socialcare.co.uk, it was called. So we put a team together for that. There's 20 people, and put a team together for that on a statement of work. And so that's what we do for all our clients now. We'll do, like, you know, statement of work pieces, placing project teams, and it's usually around sort of cross-functional teams for development or cloud. And then even in perm, it will be bundle deals, or, you know, talent as a service, where we'll build a whole technology team. We don't really look at one and twos as a thing. It's all about teams, team building and project-based work, what we focus on.
So what's the plan this year, next year? Where do you see yourself going with the business? I know that you've got a hell of a lot of work on at the minute. You know, we're working together with some bits, and ultimately it's exciting times for you to sort of restart, you know, this big growth phase that you're going through.
We start, obviously, it seems that obviously following COVID, it's obviously the bounce back's been amazing. Every business in the country is having record quarters, record months, record whatever half years. So and we're no different. We're looking to grow. We have grown quite significantly this year, and we're looking to continue to do so. So we're probably going to double the headcount by the end of the year. We've got some pretty can't really think of the word, but pretty big targets in terms of revenue that and profits that we want to try and get to. We've booked flights yesterday, actually, to Austin in November to sort our office out there. So that's planned. So expansion into the US, doing a lot more work in Europe. Just basically trying to continue to grow. I think we've got a good foundation now as a business, and the plans for us is to keep growing and keep doing what we're doing, really.
So staff-wise, what do you want from those listening in? Any of the recruiters out there that are, you know, whether they're, you know, in a role or want to get some advice from you, you know, what do you want to see? Who do you employ? What kind of people do you want in your business?
I suppose it's like the cliche, but we work really, really hard as a company. So we won't go into the numbers and everything else, but what we do for the company of our size is, there's businesses double or triple the size of us that can't compete in terms of the placements and the companies that we're working with. So
it's exceptional.
We want we want people that are just probably the same sort of mindset of us, that just want to grow, they want to develop their career, want to be part of a business that is going places and be a part of that journey. Not scared of working hard. We're not and I will say it, we're not an office dog, beanbag, you know, walking in with your cappuccino in the morning and sort of chilling out type business. We're a hard-working company. We're in the office. We want people that are willing to, you know, put the shift in but get rewarded for that. Tenacity is really important. We spoke earlier about someone that's we've got from you that's really impressed me with their tenacity and their will to succeed. And that's pretty much it. It's not a hard job, recruitment. It's like, obviously, it is, but you have to have the right attitude, and that's
you've got the right platform for it as well. As you were saying with this particular guy, you know, he's coming into an abundance of work that you've actually spent all this time trying to build and put together. So he's got the ability now, and, you know, anyone has to put, you know, through 50 to 100K worth of deals a month, which you can't do in most places.
So that particular guy's second month is probably going to do 50K's worth of billings minimum. Maybe more. But it's just the attitude is the most important thing. We hire purely on attitude. Long story short, if you've got the right attitude, then you can succeed. Because as you mentioned, we've got the platform. We're working with clients where we've got more work than we can handle, and the structure of the business is all around sort of 180, so business development or account management and delivery. Brilliant. So if there's any business development consultants out there,
Yeah, reach out, definitely.
People that are looking just purely to do the sales side of the business or of recruitment or staffing, then let me know, because we're keen to speak.
No, look, if those are listening in, want to have a chat with yourself, Pat, I'll make sure that they talk to you directly and go through any questions that they have. If anyone wants to start a business, and they're not sure on what to do, how to do it, there's definitely some real value in this call, this podcast rather that we've had, so that they can talk to you and ask you some questions, point them in the right direction. I'm sure you'll send them over to the RDLC. And I'll send them over to TRN, and we'll see how we get on. But now, look, Pat, I really appreciate your time, mate, and everything you said is extremely insightful, inspirational, and the story that you've actually sacrificed and what you did to go and do get to where you are now is just unreal. So fair play to you, mate, and I really can see the success. I was going to wish you the best of luck, but you don't need it. You've got it all there on a plate. But hopefully we can continue, with what we're doing together and working with you. So I'm sure we'll speak. But again, mate, thank you very much for your time.
No worries at all. I appreciate it. Thanks for inviting me on. And
pleasure.
If anyone ever does want to get in touch, then I'm available on LinkedIn.
Good. I'll make sure they get your links. All good, mate. See you soon.
No worries. Cheers, mate.